this thing on? Testing 1, 2, 3, 4. Yeah, it's on. Wow. Hey, good afternoon. Welcome to At the Table. This is your host, Kelly Lincoln, coming to you live and in person and later on tape from snowy, slushy New York City, where only one side of the block so far has been actually treated with ice melt. That's East 87th Street. Lexington Avenue, on the other hand, is rapidly getting towards a lawsuit phase in its slippery slope to, oh my God, I've slipped and fallen, and nobody's swept, and no one has shoveled the sidewalk or laid down any snow melt. Besides talking about the weather, and I just turned off the auto ducking because I don't need it anymore. I was talking about how when it first started snowing here in New York, it was beautiful. It was like snow was coming down and the streets were like, just beginning to get that nice little glisten, and several hours later, it is like, holy shit. Have you ever seen driven snow? It's brown, it's nasty. The snowplows haven't come through yet, but I've got no qualms about that. I know that when I leave work tonight, it's going to be a mess. Between frozen, slippery sidewalks, curbs where you don't know if it's snow, ice, or solid ground. It's going to be a lot of fun getting home tonight. I had actually started working on a pre-recorded podcast earlier in this week, and I couldn't find my favorite USB microphone, so I had to leave my laptop at home. So I don't have some of the really awesome sound clips that I wanted to use, although maybe I can find it. Oh, I do have it. I'm going to play this whole clip for you. This was recorded from PBS NewsHour, and it's Joe Biden responding on words of wisdom for Donald Trump. Hello, 1, 2, 3, 4. Hello? Awesome. I am alive. Wow, I am live. I just don't hear anything playing through my playing through. So this is what I get for using my Apple headset. I can hear myself, but not anything else. So yeah, there was a lot of dead air there. For that, I apologize. Just trying to figure out if I am broadcasting or not. I just don't know anymore. Okay, that might be a little better. So that's good. So anyway, that was Joe Biden telling Donald Trump to grow up, but he's an adult now. He's in the big boy world where he's not always going to get his way, where he's not going to have people coming to his rescue. But, that's how life works, and one has to be aware of that. And, this morning I was doing a Periscope. I loved it. It was great. And I had like 226 people viewing in, and I was showing them the beautiful, beautiful snowfall that was beginning here in New York City, and answering questions. Ooh, and a Bernays. Just that dog, Bernays mountain dog, just walked by, and we got into some deep stuff. I am ordained for the Universal Life Church. That is, I am a legally ordained minister recognized by the Universal Life Church. Everybody but New York City actually recognizes the ordination without a lot of hoop jumping. But anyway, I was asked a question about preaching, I believe, or sermonizing, or I can't remember the exact question that arose out of this, but I mentioned in just using religious symbology is just a frame of reference, people. So if you believe, you don't believe, just be aware of that. We were made in God's image. All the gods made us in their image. 10 fingers, 10 toes. Yes, we may have invented God and all of that, but we were still, that is a creation of us. And there were some very simple rules laid down. Respect people, treat them with dignity. Don't cheat them. Don't speak ill of them. It boils down to treating the people as you want to be treated. So if you wish to be treated respectfully, you treat people respectfully. If you treat people disrespectfully, well, then you'll be surprised when you get treated in that manner. So we all discriminate. We all prejudge. That's part of our nature, and we always make judgments about something. We assess a situation. That's a judgment. That's a discernment. It's when we get to the point of absurdity on that discernment, of that judgment. I can't talk to you because your hair is gray, your hair is green, your hair is a color that does not exist in nature. You like Pikachu, you like SpongeBob, whatever, all the little things that make us dislike somebody for very, very petty reasons. How do you want to be treated? It's all it boils down to. You get what you give. If you have I treat or try to treat everybody with respect, because I want to be treated with respect. It's just that simple. And I was also asked a question about faith and belief. Faith is trust. That's faith. Having faith in X is having trust that something is going to happen. If you believe in X, then you are going to work towards making that belief real. Just as my personal opinion is that the reason we still call it Martin Luther King's dream a dream is because we haven't done anything to make that dream a reality. we had an opportunity as Americans to fulfill Dr. King's dream of judging somebody by the content of their character and not by the color of their skin. And a lot of Americans failed that test. So I guess we got the disrespectful president that we deserve because so many Americans and media outlets spent so much time disrespecting President Obama for the bullshittiest of reasons. That now we have somebody that we don't respect, and now we're being asked to respect him and to not make fun of him and to, give him the due deference that 8 years of disrespect has gone past. It's very difficult to do that. It's like Greta Van Susteren is going to be joining MSNBC from Fox, and a lot of people who watch MSNBC just can't get past that she was on Fox and that she's like out there saying, "Give me a chance, give me 2 weeks, give me a chance." And I tweeted at her that I'm willing to give her a chance, but she has to understand that she spent a long time working at a news station that spent an inordinate amount of time trashing our president and his policies, of not supporting him. So she's got to get past the fact that she is connected to that 8 years of disrespect from Fox News opinion. She's got to, really work at that. And it's going to take a lot of work for her to win over the people who couldn't bear to watch Fox. I've tried it. They have really good, actual, real news coverage. Thank you, Shep Smith. But their opinion shows are horrible. And you can't call them Fox News when Rupert Murdoch is sitting there saying in front of Congress, "Well, yeah, we're entertainment. We don't have to tell the truth. We're not a news station. We're entertainment." Sorry for that. I am also at lunch at the moment. And I am currently sucking down an Evolution Fresh cold-pressed sweet greens and lemon juice blend. It's really good. I can taste the celery, so I know it's mostly in here. But it's, yeah, I'm going to give her a chance. I'm going to watch the program. But she has to reprove herself to a lot of people. And that is, baggage she brings with her. Speaking of baggage you want to bring with you, there is this, you want to mess with your friends on Facebook? There is this thing going around that you can find these videos on YouTube, and it's really funny about how you can't delete Facebook security from your friends list. Well, the fellow goes on to talk about that he did the search on his friends list for Facebook security. That's right, Facebook security, and all these names popped up that he didn't recognize. They weren't on his friends list or anything like that, but he couldn't block them. He couldn't block all these people, all these Facebook security people, and it's a nice way to play with your conspiracy-minded friend. Just go into your settings and change your nickname to Facebook security. They will flip out because they think you're now watching them. Dun dun. I think you're now watching them. And all that good stuff, And it's just, you gotta love people like that, It's like trolling Facebook for fun and profit. I actually thought I was going to. I really do seem to talk fast. I'm only 15 minutes into the show, and I'm running out of things to say. But it's really a nice day out. It's really nice. It's looking out on the corner, the intersection of East 87th and Lexington Avenue, and just watching people carefully cross the street, step up onto the curb, and hopefully their shoes will not cause them to slip on the unshoveled walk. This morning the traffic was like really backed up, and this was like before the snow really started coming down. So, and it's just I'm sitting down. But when talking a bit more about I don't know what your conspiracy-minded friends, and they bring up the conspiracy that Russia didn't hack the election and all that other Donald Trumpian bullshit, because Trump has to be seen as legitimate in the eyes of the world, but people know he's not. He invited Russia to hack into Hillary Clinton's email server, while he was not the one. See, here's the thing. Anybody who ran against Hillary Clinton would have had the support of Vladimir Putin, if for no other reason than to get back at Hillary for his perceived notion that she called into question the fairness of his election. So it didn't really matter if it had been Donald Trump. The people, there still would have happened if it had been Rubio or Romney or whomever. It was just a way of him, getting back at Hillary Clinton by interfering, by, accessing the DNC. And it wasn't just the DNC, and there were other, the RNC was also hacked, but, when you're Vladimir Putin, you want a whole bunch of compromised individuals in your court. So you don't release what you have on them. You release bullshit emails from the DNC. Oh my God, the DNC was working against Bernie. They were for Hillary. Well, yeah. It's you have to understand how politics work. Sanders is an independent, unless he has now changed his party to Democrat. And they were the DNC was being nice to him by saying, yeah, you can run as a Democrat. Didn't mean they had to support him and throw money his way. Besides, Sanders did not support any Democratic candidate. Well, neither did most of the DNC either. But and then it's all politics. You have to understand how it works. And politics is, unlike real estate, not a zero-sum game. Yes, there are winners. There aren't really any losers, because even the people that don't, because even the so-called losers end up with something. And I point to you again at Bernie Sanders and the new influence he has in the Democratic Party. Trump comes out of a world where he sees only winners and losers, and if he isn't the winner, then it's not fair, because he can never see himself as a loser. In the real world of business, there should never be winners and losers, because even if you lose a deal, it doesn't mean that you've actually lost. It just means that your offer wasn't good enough. You couldn't, So in reality, real estate is really more about who's going to pay the most, who's going to give you the better deal. And that's how it works. That's how it works in life. You walk into a store and just, can you give me a discount on this? No. Can you give me for this price? No. So guy might not buy it, but that doesn't mean he's lost. It doesn't mean you've lost. It's that simple. And when you look at how black and white the president-elect, a calm face, you know, cloud, whatever, clown face. Trumple thin-skinned sees the world as he has to win. And it's come to light that 50 of the Republican electors were maybe ineligible, like Pam Bondi of Florida, the Attorney General of Florida, who held dual political offices and therefore was not eligible to be an elector in the state of Florida, yet she was. And lo and behold, Ms. Bondi is now, got a job in the Trump administration. We see a lot of pay for play here, but, the people who voted for him thought that, yes, draining the swamp. Nah, he's not draining the swamp, he's just restocking it. Their concept of draining the swamp is getting rid of anybody who won't fall into their ideological line, and breaking the union, the Federal Postal Workers Union, by reducing all of their salaries to $1 because of an obscure law. That's how they're going to get rid of all the really good people in government service, by reducing their salaries to $1. Now, the question is, will that law be overturned by the Supreme Court? Because I can guarantee you it is going to be challenged. So I really didn't want to talk about all this shit today. I wanted to talk about snow and messing with your friends on Facebook by changing your name to Facebook Security, and some, the strange things you can find on YouTube. And here I am talking fucking politics again. I don't want to do that. It's not fair. I'm just whiny today. So it's like, it's really hard when you can't hear the stuff that you're talking about. I'm cheering. So, take two. Welcome back. You're listening to At the Table. This is part 2 of my hour-long Ramble Fest. Random access. It's a snow day here in New York, and for a change, cars are actually stopping to let pedestrians cross the street. Shock of shocks. It's something you very rarely see. Earlier today, while I was sitting at this very table, drinking my coffee, which I'm still doing, there was this adorable little dog who was out just like having a grand old time in the snow here. And it's just, hey look, ambulance just went by. People are, what can I say? I'm just rambling here right now because that's the best thing to do here. Let's see. Let me just change here and see what we got here in the realm of anything else we want to talk about, you want to listen to. How about, let's see, I don't have a lot of stuff here. When I die, and I am cremated, I want to be buried in something as amusing. I want my ashes to be placed in something that when people look at it, they will laugh. Carrie Fisher was cremated, and her ashes were placed in an urn that is a giant Prozac pill. That is what I want when I pass on and I am cremated. Is I want to be placed. I want to be remembered as somebody who, even in death, had a sense of humor, could make people laugh. And in that memory, there will be joy in that. Yeah, I'd be gone, but there's the last. I still got the last laugh. And you gotta love that. I loved Carrie Fisher. I loved her service dog. Gary is adorable. It's, looks like it's coming down heavier now. Ooh, excuse me. And there are people making deliveries, and they better be getting winter pay for this. I'm really kind of surprised that the snowplows haven't come through yet. I'm sure that's happening. And, we got a good blow here. It's almost like horizontal coming from the north. So if you're walking north up Lexington, you're going to get blinded by the snow in your face. So if you are planning on going out in the tri-state area, in anywhere where the storm is blowing through, think real good and hard, not just twice or three times, but quadruple that thought process. Analyze it from top to bottom. Is it safe for me to go out? Do I really want to be driving on the roads when it's slippery, when it's icy and this and it's slushy and the temperature's going to drop and it's going to get even worse? Think about that before you make that decision, because the life you save may be yours, among other people. The traffic's a bit lighter here, so it's like, let's give you a weather report here in New York City at 3:35 p.m. Shit, it's almost time for me to go home. I left at 2. No, it's not. It's 2. No, wait a minute. I don't even remember what the hell time I went to lunch. I went at 2:55. The temperature, it's 20 degrees right now in New York City with a wind chill of making it feel like it's 15 degrees Fahrenheit. So it's pretty cold. It's 89% humidity. So you want to just not deal. You don't have to be out, folks. In New York City, don't be out. It's just too nasty to be out. So I think I'm going to play a little bit of music here. Or maybe I'll just give you another thing. I'm just going to play this whole thing. This is a 1-minute segment from Fareed Zakaria. And I'll just I'll just play it. Here's snowplow just went by. And that was, you heard that right. That was, thoroughly agree with the comment that he's a bullshit artist. It's what he does. We are all bullshit artists. The way you don't get taken in by the bullshit artist is to listen very carefully to what they are saying and then don't walk into their frame of speech, their frame of reference. Reframe that, say, oh, is this what you were saying? I mean, if you want examples of that, just listen. You can hear it all the time in how people walk into other people's frames and then they find themselves on the defensive or having to, do other things, But when you reframe, you can actually restate. You can get a conversation going. And this is the whole thing. when you read, it's like on Twitter. You can reframe on Twitter, and you have a lot of fun with it because you can, somebody, if you're being trolled on Twitter, you can always reframe what the troll is saying. Which is another way of saying don't take the bait. They're looking for a reaction from you. And when you don't respond to them the way they want to, they might keep trying or they just might go away. I've told this story before, but I encountered a little wannabe neo-Nazi who was trying to troll me over the fact that I have the what they thought would be a really cool way of identifying all the Jews on Twitter. So a lot of us, I am Jewish, put that around our handles. And so this guy starts trying to troll me. And now I'm a Sephardic Mizrahi Jew, which means I am Spanish, Middle Eastern. And so I don't speak Yiddish. I understand it, I don't speak it. And he's throwing Yiddishisms at me and talking back and just telling me, I have to know the language of the enemy, blah, 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 blah. And finally it got to a point where he threw another one at me. And I said, I said to him, quote, you sure use a lot of Yiddish. Are you sure you don't have one, meaning a Jew, in the woodpile? And the next thing I know, he tweets at me a screen cap of what he claims is his ancestry DNA profile showing that he's all European except, pure European, except for a little bit of 2%. Now, I could have continued trolling him on that, but the fact that I didn't and I just let that live there, I won. That's how you do it. You make them, you have them walk into your frame, then they get defensive. It's a lot of fun. It takes practice, but it's a lot of fun. And then once you get good at it, you realize that you don't have to respond unless you absolutely want to. Ooh. And there's some people walking back from the park from their sledding in the park. People are having fun who don't have to be at work. But me, I have to be at work. I'm actually having a good day at work. There's some really good customer vendors rep for a major computer manufacturers. So talk to some really wonderful customers. The people in the store that I work with are really great. I like what I do. I just wish it was more than just a weekend because I like it so much. But it also gives me the chance to work on more structured shows than this. Ooh, look, somebody's trying to make somebody was trying to have an accident just right out front, and wow, that was like kind of a frightening little thing. Oh, and speaking of frightening little things, the Postal Workers Union were able to shut down the Staples as a post office thing. So score for the postal people, for the delivery people. That was really stupid because I actually 2 weeks ago went into the Staples next door to where I work to mail something, and there was a nice sign saying, "We're closed, sorry for the inconvenience." And that's exactly what we would find if this had happened, is that you wouldn't be able to mail anything because there was nobody there to take your mail. And also they can't guarantee it's going to get delivered. Even FedEx and UPS all use the United States Postal Service for a lot of their shipping and delivery. A lot of their shipping. The United States Postal Service is mandated by is constitutionally mandated, so it cannot be privatized unless they repeal that portion of the amendment that sets it up. And think about that. If your mail delivery, and that's the reason it was set up as a government-run operation, was because at the time mail delivery was private. If you didn't, you had to pay somebody to deliver your mail. Think about this. If you're living in a rural area and there's a privatized, and the mail delivery service is privatized, think about how much you will have to pay to get your mail delivered. If you're living on a family farm, you won't get mail delivery. Just like people living in rural areas of America don't have proper internet connectivity or cable. They don't have. We can talk about all the people who live in the cities who don't have access to computers and the internet and all that, but we forget about the people living in rural communities that do not have internet connectivity, and providers are actively working against cities installing their own broadband because, oh my God, it will, because they won't be, people point and say satellite. Satellite is great, but in this weather, people with satellite is going to find that their television sucks, that they have no internet connectivity, because satellites depend on the weather being clear. When it rains, snows, or there's cloud cover, it interferes with satellite reception. And when you're watching television, you're watching a satellite remote, and you see it breaking up, there's usually something, there's probably a cloud passing in front of the satellite in the receiving city. In fact, when I was thinking about getting satellite service, and I called up a provider and was asking about internet, and he flat out said, no, you don't want to use us for internet. And, because of the weather issues. So my feeling for today and what, is that we sit around and we whine, bitch, and we moan, and we sign petitions and we retweet and we share, but we need to actually do more than that, ladies and gentlemen, my fellow Americans. We need, as Alex Jones said, there is a war for our minds, and it's correct. And the conservative right wing has done an excellent job of controlling the airwaves, both radio, internet, and television. I mean, I've said this before. All you need to do, if you don't believe me, go and take a look at the leading shows on Blog Talk Radio, the political shows. They're all conservative. Take a look at the number of right-wing conspiracy-driven websites, right-wing. Take a look at the really popular channels on YouTube. They're political channels. They're YouTube. They're conservatives. I mean, there are a shit ton of channels all devoted to, trashing President Obama for no other reason than he's biracial and Hawaiian. We have to take the airwaves back. We have to take the communication back, and we need to do it in a way that people will actually listen to us, and that means not being so overtly political or let's see. Let me say what needs to be done. This will also tell you about how it's called reframe. This is framing. A good frame. These are. I did an edX course on framing in politics, and these are the notes I took away there. Okay, and this is what we. These are the takeaways from framing. The first three characteristics of a good frame are: frames are sticky. You intuitively agree with it. There is a villain. Then there is the opponent's core values are at stake, and you frame, and it taps into societal undercurrents. Okay. Now, the news media and all of us have stepped into Donald Trump's and the right wing's frames. Take a look at all the free airtime. The media, we all gave, the media gave to Donald Trump. They stepped into his frame. We get put on the defensive. And when we do enter the frame, we get complex and vulnerable, or we do a negating the frame and equals evoking a frame. and there's three P's to framing, and that's personality, policy, principles, value, and personality. Trump went on personality. Hillary and Bernie both ran on policy and principles. And personality this time won out. And so what we need to do is reframe, and this is what is annoying the folks on the right, is that we are reframing. We are saying, well, and that's what we need to be doing to take, but not just on Twitter, not just on Facebook, but but again, on it with podcasts, with YouTube channels, with Periscope chats, all of the same media that we see the right wing using to push their agenda, their talking points. We must do the same. We have to, if we want to. If we want to have more of a Star Trek dystopia rather than a Blade Runner, or even type of we're entering in a dystopic world as it is, but we can choose how grim that dystopia is going to be. It's up to us. Do we want but right after that, I'm still broadcasting. I've been hearing these voices, and I suddenly realized that I was hearing just a tiny bit of my live show because I had it set up that way. But we need to start talking back. You can take that "Go Higher" motto and use that to our advantage on YouTube, on Blog Talk Radio, Mixler, this platform, Spreaker. You can get when you start out here. They have a free speech account which gives you 15 minutes, and as many 15 minutes as you want. You just can't put them all together. But start with a 15-minute, show. Build that up. You'd be amazed, Find some, give your opinion. Don't be afraid to express your opinion, especially in the face of people threatening you. That they want to bully you. They want you to back down. You stand up to them, and like I said, you go hide. You just have to understand, study, the Socratic method, where you can leave ambiguity and people can hear what they want to hear in your speech. That's another one of Trump's things, is that when he talks, he doesn't flat out say X, Y, or Z. He lets you fill in those blanks. And when he does say explicitly something, it's not going to happen. You just know it's not going to happen. So study, it takes a little work, and we're all smart people. Look into, check out the Socratic method and how it can be used. Look into the cognitive framing. It's a form of helping people. It's a form of behavioral therapy that helps people get through maladaptive thought patterns, or like I said, reframing and neuro-linguistic programming. There's all sorts of things you already do in your life. You just need to put it out there, refine it, and just go for it. Because the more voices that are actually out there, the more voices that are heard in podcasts, YouTube, live broadcast, Facebook Live, and all of that, the more people will pay attention and listen. You can sign petitions, share on Facebook, retweet, but actually have your actual speaking voice to be heard. Don't be afraid to speak up. What did Barb, speak up, stand up for your rights. Stand up, get up. Stand up for your rights. Got to do it. We have to do it. And I'm going to leave you here because I have to get back to work. So this is like 15 minutes too short. But I'm going to leave you again with Buzz Aldrin's Rocket Experience. And when this is done, stay tuned for Katie Klobush and Katie Speaks here on netrootsradio.com. Good night. Safe dreams. And good night, everybody.